So let's just start with the question that's at the very heart of this parable, and I want you to kind of hold on to this as we go through it. Are you truly prepared for what matters most in your life? Let's see what this ancient story has to say about that.
All right, let's get into it. Jesus starts this off by saying the kingdom of heaven is kind of like this situation. You've got 10 young women, bridesmaids, basically, and they're all part of a wedding party just waiting for the big moment, the arrival of the groom.
Now, here's what's so fascinating at the beginning. On the surface, everyone looks exactly the same. I mean, think about it. All 10 were invited to the party. All 10 showed up with a lamp. All 10 were waiting for the very same person. And, as the night dragged on and the groom was late, all 10 of them got sleepy and dozed off. You couldn't tell them apart just by looking.
But, underneath all that surface level similarity, there was this one single crucial difference. And that one thing was about to change absolutely everything.
And this is exactly where the story splits in two. It really becomes a tale of two very, very different groups. So let's break down who they were. On one hand, you've got 5 who the story calls wise. And why were they wise? Well, because they thought ahead. They figured, hey, he might be late, so they brought extra oil for their lamps, just in case. And then you've got the other 5, who were called foolish. They had their lamps, sure, but that was it. They had zero backup plan, totally unprepared for any kind of delay.
And this is where things unfold so quickly. First, the delay. The groom takes way longer than anyone thought. Then, suddenly, at midnight, the darkest hour, a shout goes out. He's coming! He's here! Everybody wakes up, but there's a huge problem. The foolish virgins' lamps are sputtering out. They try to borrow oil, but the wise ones tell them to go buy their own. And in that critical window of time, the groom arrives, the wise go into the party, and the door is shut.
Now you might think, wow, why didn't the wise ones just share? But it wasn't about being selfish. The story is teaching us a fundamental truth here. Your personal readiness, that inner preparation, it's yours alone. It's something you have to develop for yourself.
So, can you imagine? The foolish virgins finally get back. They knock on the door, hoping to get in, and they're met with these absolutely chilling words from the groom. I don't know you. The door stays shut. It's just a moment of devastating finality.
So, that's the story. But, with all of Jesus's parables, it's not really just about weddings and lamps, is it? The real power, the real punch, is in the symbolism. So let's decode what all this stuff actually represents.
Okay, the lamps, that's the easy part. The lamps represent all the outward stuff, the things people can see, going to church, calling yourself a believer, having the appearance of being part of the group. And like we saw, every single one of them had a lamp. But the oil is the real game changer here. The oil represents the inner substance. It's the genuine, personal relationship with God that actually fuels the lamp of our faith. It's not the appearance of being ready, it's the reality of being ready. And that's the one thing that only 5 of them had. And this all builds up to the absolute core message of this parable, which is this huge difference between just looking ready and actually being ready.
Let's break that down because it's so important. Looking ready is just having the lamp. It's things like church attendance, it's knowing facts about God. But being ready, that's having the oil. That's having a real personal relationship. It's the difference between knowing about God and actually knowing God. And this is a point we just can't miss. Religious activity, just going through the motions, it will never be a substitute for a genuine relationship. Remember, the foolish virgins were right there in the group. They looked the part, but they were missing the one essential thing that mattered, the fuel.
Now, after telling this really intense story, Jesus doesn't just leave the meaning up for interpretation. No, he ends it with a very clear, very direct warning that perfectly sets up our final challenge. And that warning, it leads us right here to a final challenge for all of us. It takes the timeless message of this ancient story and turns it into a very personal question. For you, for me, for right here and right now. So I'll just leave you with this. Forget about tomorrow, forget about next week or next year. If the moment of truth arrived right now, this very second, would you have enough oil? Would your lamp still be burning?
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share.